show stuff?
Yeah, this is the pre-show.
This is the pre-show?
Yeah. Let's talk about the pre-show. So we're rolling.
Wow.
Hello, Patreon.
You got to do this like Jimmy Fallon does.
Yeah. We'll do that in
the double tap is
okay,
the key.
we'll do that in the open of the actual show once we get to it.
This isn't the actual show.
This is the pre-show.
I'm just along for the ride. You're leading the way, bud.
I understand that. So you were
I just show up.
You said that you were talking about your you haven't cooked in 4 months.
I have not cooked really not really. A handful of times, but I have not really cooked a whole lot in about 4 months because my brother and sister-in-law who just moved here a few months ago moved in with us while they were house hunting. They found a house, closed on it, and moved out over the weekend. And so this morning I had to go to the grocery store. I didn't know what we were out of. That's how disconnected to the kitchen I've been. Really? I don't even know what we're out of. I don't know what we have. I don't know because, generally I think most people have a kind of a level of certainty of what they've got. No idea. I was walking in blind. Really? So I picked up my groceries. I was just kind of guessing what I needed, picked those up, got that done. But now I have to figure out, I have to go back to meal planning and figuring out what I'm going to cook this week.
Okay, so and I've never had his food, but by all accounts, he's a professional chef. He's
my brother,
a fantastic cook, your brother.
Yeah.
Did the cooking gene come into you? I mean, because I know, see, here's the thing. I know Cody, from what you've told me about him, he's not anything in the kitchen. So the bar's pretty low.
That's not completely true.
He just eats like toast and cereal, right?
No.
If he's on his own?
If he's on his own, he makes toast and cereal.
Right.
He's made me dinner a couple times. He makes really good buffalo chicken tacos. He does a really good job with that.
Really?
And he makes excellent scrambled eggs. If we do breakfast for dinner, he handles the scrambled eggs. He does it like Gordon Ramsay does, which just has a ton of butter in his scrambled eggs, and they're delicious. Right. So he can make those.
Oh, okay.
But for the most part, it's just the
bar's
me.
Pretty low.
Bars is lower on the lower side. I don't know if I necessarily got the cooking gene. It's fine. Like I'm a good cook when I'm following a recipe. My brother though, he can just create stuff. Like he can just
That's what I want to do.
He can just come up with it and be like, "Oh yeah, this will taste good with this." And I have no idea how to do that. I need a recipe.
That's what I do.
That's what you just make stuff up?
I kind of but I'll be in the kitchen and I'll be like, "Hey, I bet this would go good with this."
You know what you need?
I just don't have any training in
No, this is what you need. You need to get a book. It is called the Flavor Bible. My brother has it.
Really?
It's a whole book. It's like this thick, and it's all the flavors that go well together, like ingredients. So it'll have, if it's chocolate, it'll be like orange, mint, go really well with chocolate. Things that don't go well with chocolate, and it'll be like, I don't know, garlic or something. Things that won't taste good together. So it lists, these are excellent pairings, these are terrible pairings, and it helps you figure out what you need to cook with.
I think I've just found my Christmas present that I want.
Flavor Bible. I'll see what I can do. I'll get my hands on it.
I'm just throwing it out there right now.
To anybody that wants to.
No, just to the person across the table.
Just to me?
Yeah,
okay. I'll see what I can do.
All right, let's roll Matthew West. This will be 20. This will be 23, right?
No.
No, this will be 21, 22. Yes, will be 23.
All right, do we
23.
Do we want to do it as 23?
Wait, no, it'll be 24. Because if we're doing it the week of the 19th, right?
Well, I don't care. Which one do y'all want to do it on?
24.
You want to do this 24? All right.
Would it be weird just to say if he listens to this, Michael Tait, having Matthew West open for him?
No. Hey, Matthew West is not open.
Did you guys just get a whiff of like spiced apples?
Yes.
What is that?
I bet that's some kind of candle or something.
That's good.
All right, so let's do.
Like
we're gonna do. What did you say?
Christmas in here, huh?
Did you say 24?
24.
All right, so let's do it.
It's episode 24.
All right, welcome in. Stephen Bethany Hopecast is underway, and we have got a special guest today, Michael Tait. Mm-hmm. You know him from DC Talk. You know him from the Newsboys.
His solo projects.
Yeah, he's a legendary musician now. I think we could say that.
For sure.
Right?
And also maybe has a career in voiceovers. If somehow the singing career doesn't work out, I think the voiceover area will treat him well.
We spent like 15, 20 minutes with him, and we're going to let you hear that coming up here today on the Stephen Bethany Hopecast. And we got this right here. If you can see that right there, pick out Michael.
One.
That's Michael. And if you can tell from the camera shot, if you're watching at StephenBethany.com or on YouTube, you can see that they're autographed by each member of the Newsboys. This is a little tour book of Newsboys United. We're going to give this away to one of you guys that are listening or watching right now. And the way we want to do that is we're going to have you listen to the entire episode, and then we want you to answer a question.
The question is, what kind of movie is Michael's favorite to watch? What kind of movie does Michael Tait like to watch?
Yeah, you email us your answer at stephenbethany@gmail.com. I'm sorry, Stephen Bethany's Hopecast at gmail.com. Stephen Bethany's Hopecast at gmail.com. Send us your answer, and we'll draw one winner, and we'll send you this book out. We'll even pay for the shipping for you. Okay,
Look at that.
That'll be good.
Did you pick up on the interview that he called me darling?
I did.
That was nice.
I did. That was I didn't know whether if that was a little over the line.
No,
in this
I
day and
liked
age.
it. That's
you liked
nice.
it. You were good. Okay. Well,
no, that was nice.
I know how you are.
No, how I am is I don't like it when girls my age call me darling or sweetie or hun.
Right.
I got hun the other day
Did
by
you?
a girl that was younger than me, and I was like, psh. You're my peer. Don't call me that. Like, that's weird. To me, it's weird. Michael Tait can call me that. It's fine. But, like, girls my age, I'm just like, just say my name or don't call me anything. It's fine.
All right, we'll come back after the Michael Tait interview. We'll have some other fun stuff for you, and the aftercast, too, for you Patreon hope dealers. So stay with us. Let's roll with Michael Tait right now. Jarvis Jr., hit play.
The sky was dark, looked like all hope was gone. Tears were on the ground, our dreams were in the past. Then lo and behold, I like lo and behold, that's good. Up came a brand new show, Stephen Bethany Hopecast. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Stephen Bethany Hopecast. Stephen Bethany Hopecast. Hope is here. Hooray at last. This is Stephen Bethany Hopecast.
All right, it's time for a special interview now. Let's welcome in Michael Tait from the Newsboys. Yay!
Thank you so much for taking a second to talk with us. We appreciate it.
You bet, guys. I'm in the studio here working on this new record, and I was like, I got to call Steven right now. So I'm gonna put my pen down, put the microphone down, and come out and call you guys, because I did.
Well, that's fantastic, man. We're so happy that you did that, and we're also really looking forward to Newsboys United getting together and coming back out on tour, because you started the tour, like, a couple of years ago, and then, COVID and everything happened, and now you guys are kind of...
We were on tour March 12th, Steven, in Ohio, and the news came over, through all the social platforms that governors of states are saying no more than 100 people gathered together. I was like, wait a minute, it was sold out show tonight here.
Oh, no.
And sure enough, that show got canceled March 12th, and I've not seen the stage again since then, pretty much.
Wow.
So looking forward to these shows. I want to cherish every moment. And people that come to these shows are going to get a special night, because every night will be like it's our last night. We know it's not. My point is,
Right.
not probably till next year.
Sure. No, I get it. Now, September 23rd is the big date. It's coming up at the Bright Lights, big city of Bald Knob, Arkansas. Now, so because of COVID and everything, you're not able to play these big arenas. So you're kind of stripping down and coming down back to kind of your roots, right? Playing
That's
songs
right.
and playing music in front of maybe not the biggest crowd in the world, but passionate folks.
It's going to be intimate. What I love about these kind of shows, Stephen, it's intimate. It's broken down. As we say, all the smoke and mirrors not there, which is great, because the songs speak for themselves and the message speaks for itself. So Holy Spirit and a bunch of people, we're good to go, baby.
I love that. So here's a question I have. When you got to Newsboys United and you decided that you guys are going to bring back Peter and you were going to bring back Phil back to the band, was that something that was supposed to be a one-off deal, or was that supposed to always be the plan?
Well, that was the one-off a deal. Like, it was a 4 period. We knew 4 period. We decided 3 or 4 years ago, let's try this out, see what happens. And it went so well because we made a record.
Right.
So one thing led to another. But yeah, and that season will come to a close eventually, and it'll be Newsboys 2.0 again. But it's been neat to see the people that Peter affected before I came along, and see them singing the old songs, join the old songs. It's fun. You get both eras, and I think it also shows the camaraderie that we have to invite an old lead singer back to the band and share the stage with the new lead singer. It's like, let's face it, that's not something most people do. A lot of people wouldn't feel comfortable doing that, but we felt totally at home because we've been friends since the beginning of DC Talk and Newsboys.
Well, and you kind of bring up an interesting point. I think you've had such an incredible career because you've done solo stuff. You've obviously led DC Talk. You've led the Newsboys. What are the differences between leading a band like DC Talk and then leading something like the Newsboys? What are kind of the parallels and maybe some of the differences between those two?
Well, obviously with DC Talk, you had Toby, Kevin, and Michael Tait. So what was great about it, could trade off. With Newsboys, I get to carry the whole front man thing myself. Sometimes it's fun, but boy, let me tell you, it can also be an albatross. So I would say the workload for sure is definitely different. But the payoff is grand because you get to share, a full round of your thoughts and of your experiences and your testimonies and your songs. So it's a proper rock band where there's a lead singer and a single guy speaking from the stage as opposed to a three-ring circus like Three Dog Night with Toby Mac, Kevin Mac, and Michael Tait. It can be crazy sometimes.
Right.
But let's face it, both I'm honored. I love DC Talk. I love Newsboys. Apples and oranges, guys. Apples and oranges.
Oh, absolutely. Well, okay. So you brought up DC Talk. I wasn't going to do that for a while, but I want to say this because I want you to see what you think of my theory on this. Okay.
Oh, no.
I'm not trying to blow smoke. This is the way I kind of look at DC Talk. You guys had like 9 years together, right?
10 years together.
10 years together. Okay. I feel like DC Talk is kind of like the Beatles of Christian music. Because I feel like you guys revolutionized stuff. You made a whole new sound to the industry, and you affected countless numbers of people, and you were only together for like 10 years, and now it's been so much longer than you were even together, and what do you think about that? And I know you don't want to brag on yourself.
Funny? I often say that, I wouldn't say that unless you said that first, but I often say Newsboys were the Rolling Stones and we were the Beatles.
Really?
So they were a bit more like, not the center, a bit more, organic starting out. We were very poppy. DC Talk was like the Beatles. You're right. But what makes that statement ring kind of true in my head is that kids of parents who came to our shows when they were kids are coming now, and they're remembering, these songs, the Jesus Freaks, and the Lights and stuff like that. I'm like, oh my gosh. We've affected generations, and it's weird to think that sometimes.
I can't imagine what that's like because I mean, look,
you see me, you nailed it. You nailed it. It was like a Beatle moment. Like, when these kids that are 21 and I'm a 50, so I'm like, they're like, I love you, Michael. I'm like, wait, you weren't even born when we wrote Jesus Freak.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I think people that can write songs are just amazing anyway. That's just such a gift and a talent that I wish I could have to be able to express feelings in 3.5 minutes or whatever. But to know that a song you wrote so many years ago affects somebody that wasn't even born at the time, that's amazing.
Guys, it freaks me out to this day. Trust me. I don't take that for granted. I'm beyond grateful. Oh, thank you, Lord Jesus.
Well, and with quarantine, kind of being in place earlier this year, things have lightened up a little bit, but still, a lot of areas it's still locked down. How have you occupied your time during quarantine? Have you been doing a lot of songwriting, or what does that look like for you?
A lot of songwriting, Bethany, a lot of songwriting, and a lot of getting out of the house and being careful, but seeing family and close friends that I've not seen for a long time because I'm usually home 2 days a week, Mondays and Tuesdays, we leave again on Wednesdays. So now I'm home 7 days a week. So I have time to actually be domesticated and acclimated back to, real life. And so it's been stinking incredible.
Yeah, that's what I wondered is, I mean, do you miss being out on the road? Because, I mean, that's been your whole life is being out on the road constantly, and now you're just all of a sudden a stop comes to that. I mean, I'd imagine you're probably kind of itching to get back out there, right?
I am, but at the same time too, it's like we're in the studio working, you're loving it. But when you get out of the studio, you want to get on the road. When you get on the road, you want to get back to the studio. It's I love hate. It's the way it is. Like you just, it's a system like I've done for years where Even people think, "Oh, well, you guys are rock stars. You have the best life." No, it's just as routine as yours. Trust me, it's just a different kind of routine.
Yeah, very different kind of routine for sure. And
yes, it is.
You know, you haven't done a show for a few months now because of COVID. You've been doing this though for so long. I'm sure. You don't really get nervous though when you open a show, or are those nerves still there a little bit?
No, I think, and I like them there because it keeps me on top of my game, and I can be confident. But I don't want to be cocky, so I got to be confident. My confidence in Christ. In Christ. So yes, in God, hit the stage, be confident, but give people a solid show. Because you're a Christian, I mean, you got to be a chump. You can still be, you can still lay it down and connect and have the cool factors too.
Yeah,
and still be a freak. Still be a freak for Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm wondering is, do you see a lot of that with the concerts? I would assume that you do, where like kids who are into the Newsboys and into DC Talk and maybe into some of the harder sounding, rock sounding sound, invite their non-Christian friends and they realize, hey man, these Christian guys, they rock.
Which I love, dude. I love hearing that when kids say that kind of stuff. That's what we started. When we first started, we were like, we want people to put our songs in, our music in, and not so they miss the beat to what they like, enjoy music-wise, environment-wise, but obviously the lyric is what's important in our genre. What we say, how we say what we say, and what we talk about is a big difference than what, let's say, somebody like Marlon Manson would write about, or somebody else that's their art. My dog and their art. My point is, I choose to talk about the light and about goodness and about love and about hope and salvation and forgiveness, repentance, as opposed to sex, drugs, and more sex and more.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
I prefer a more healthy affair that would talk, speak life, as Toby says,
right,
as opposed to speak dark.
Now, when it comes to writing songs, do you have any kind of process, or does it just flow out when it flows out, or do you have a way
that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
That's a big part. Yeah, you have to kind of wait for it. It's like it's like well, I won't say like giving birth because that's hard to say that because I've never given birth and I never will. It's disrespectful because you got through enormous amounts of pain. But sometimes putting a song out, it can be a creative birth. It can be good times. I'm like, man, I just struggling with a lyric or melody. Like we're here now working since 9 this morning, and we're making slow progress. Just before we made the phone calls, I started calling my interviews for today. I promise you, the scene kicked in. We started working on this new idea, and we're excited about it now. I'm like, and it would happen when I had to make my interview calls. Came in. But the point is, that's how it happens. You don't know,
Right,
you can be going to the bathroom, for God's sake.
Right. Well, see, because I don't think people realize that, especially in Nashville, there are guys and girls that make songwriting appointments, and they go sit all day in a room and try to write songs, but that's not your style, right?
Oh, well, it doesn't. It seems to be too forced. But if that is your style, you still have to find that wiggle room where you don't really just like busting your brain for 8 hours. Because it's no fun. It's like it becomes you start enjoying it, not enjoying it, and enjoying it is very important because that's the whole process. You're making art, you're making music. It's like that should be exciting. But there's a stress level to it. Some guys, because I know that these songs I put pen to paper to and write is what's gonna carry the Newsboys to different places. Like no songs, no audience, no shows, no tour, no purpose in this area. Might as well become a preacher or become a dentist or something. But the point is, as a songwriter, I do sometimes feel the pressure. So I will say all the prayers are needed and accepted, by the way, to all the listeners.
Yes.
Just kind of like, Lord, I feel this load of, if I don't get this record right, I'm going to sink the ship. I don't want that to happen. Well, you're not guaranteed. You're not guaranteed. It's a lot of young artists. I say, guys, you're only as good as your last project because the thing is, because people bought your first, second records, I mean, they're going to buy your third or fourth record. So every time you make a new record, you are actually reapplying for your job because the last one was the last one. So are they going to, be with you on this one or not?
Well, and here's a
that's
question.
The practical side of it.
Yeah. No, here's a question I asked a couple of other artists, Josh Wilson most recently. But how do you know when a song is finished?
Well, you just know when it's, I don't know. You just kind of know what it is. You have to make the decision as an artist. You have to go, okay, you know what? The chef is done making the meal. You want to have
Right.
some salt to it yourself? Go for it. But I'm done.
Right, because like what Stephen Curtis Chapman told me, he said as soon as that CD comes out is when it's finished.
It's when it's done.
Because he's rewriting and changing and editing all the time, even right up until they tell him, "That's it, Stephen. We got it." Just like what you said, the chef is done. We're through.
Yeah. People say, "When's the record coming out?" And I go, "When I'm done with it."
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Hey, mama. Hey, mama. When have dinner, mama? When the food's done.
It is what it is. Well, I have to bring up a little DC Talk story here. So my parents actually saw you guys open for, I think it was for the Newsboys, if I'm remembering correctly, at the Red Rocks Amphitheater in Colorado Springs. And this was way back. They saw you guys. Obviously thought you were incredible, but it was very, very new. So they had not heard of DC Talk or anything like that. And they said you guys finished your set, the crowd kind of was quiet for a minute. And before they started clapping, they remember Toby saying, "Oh, I guess rap hasn't made its way out this far west." And then, of course, everybody started laughing and clapping. But my parents have a very strong memory of you guys just putting on an incredible show and doing an amazing job.
Oh, so okay, that encourages me. See, thank you, darling. Thank you.
All right, Michael, we appreciate you joining us in your time here. Before we let you go, we have to put you on the hot seat.
We do.
These are questions that want to get to know the real Michael Tait. Not that you haven't been honest and transparent so far, but that these questions will kind of open that door a little bit wider for us. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, question number 1. Would you take a book, a movie, or a video game to unwind? Which one of those 3?
A book? Would I take a book, a movie, or a video game to
Yeah.
unwind? I want to say I would probably take a movie.
Okay, movie.
So you're a movie guy. What any particular one? Do you have classics that you like to watch over and over, or are you a new movie guy?
Guys, I like scary movies.
Oh yeah.
Scary
I
movies?
like to be scared. I like mysteries, like ghost stories and stuff. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
no.
In a world.
You can do the voiceover for him.
Yeah. Okay, here's the next one, Michael. You're hosting a dinner party, okay? You can invite any person in the Old Testament and New Testament outside of Jesus who you bring into the party.
My dinner party. Okay, to my house, I want to bring Job, because he went through a lot of stuff, man. I'll bring Job, and then toss between Paul or David. I'm more of a David, because I've messed up, and I'm like, God, help me up, and then God comes to help me, and I mess up again. And so David knew the depth of this depravity, So I'll probably invite David and Job.
Cool.
Very cool.
How about
But then the Holy Spirit, Jesus wanted to be like the Holy Spirit. You know how to do that.
Well, how about this? What was the worst trouble that you ever got into as a kid?
I rode my bike downtown with my brother on the mall in D.C., and my dad told me not to do it. My dad drove a cab, and that day my dad saw me ride my bike. He pulled his cab over and beat my butt in public.
Oh, no.
Really?
Oh, how old were
He
you?
told us not to ride our bikes. Yeah, so that was pretty bad.
How old were you?
Probably 12 or 13.
Oh, man. Well, props to your dad, though, for, parenting on the job. I appreciate that.
Thanks a lot, Dad, for the abuse.
Right. But he told you.
He told you.
I know. Oh, I know.
Oh, man.
All right, and we'll finish up with this one. What is the most visited website or app that you use on a daily basis?
Let me see. Let me think. Probably Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good app.
I mean, cause I got checking what people saying with new songs, new ideas, or just trying to fall. I don't know. I mean, that one and probably that one probably and that's a good question, guys. That one and probably you know what? I got a lot of family that needs the money, so I'm on Venmo a lot. I'm on Venmo a lot. Yeah.
That's a great answer.
He's honest.
That's
He's
a
honest.
great answer. I love it.
I'm being honest, guys. I'm being honest.
You're
My
so
Venmo account is woke.
Oh, my gosh.
That's so funny.
I love it.
Man, I do too. You are so nice to take some time with us and answer our hard-hitting questions like that. You are officially off the hot seat.
Thank the Lord.
Well, Michael, we so appreciate you taking a second to talk with us and, reminiscing a little bit all about DC Talk, but also talking about your new projects and what you're working on. So get back to the songwriting. I'm really excited to hear the new album whenever you decide it's ready for it to come out.
Yeah, because we don't want to be the reason why you lost your mojo, lost your inspiration.
You get back in there.
I was ready. I had everything down, and then I had to call these two kids, and I got to talk to them, and I lost everything. We don't want to be that.
Don't want to do that.
Oh, well, you know, as long as you guys give us some prayer, I'll be happy. Prayers.
Well, thank you, Michael. We really appreciate you. Thanks.
Thank you, kiddos. Love you both. Keep the show.
All right.
Sounds good.
Bye-bye. All right, we want to thank our buddy Michael Tait from the Newsboys, formerly of DC Talk. It was a fun conversation.
Super fun.
It was good.
And he called me darling. I'm
I
gonna
know.
hold on to that compliment for years.
Right. Well, before we get out of here this week, we want to remind you about our big contest that we've got going on. We have got a lot of people already entered to win, but it is a cornhole game.
Yes.
That is custom made by some by some listeners to our Hopecast. Chip and Wade are their names.
Chip-a-Wade.
The Chip-a-Wade Custom Woodworks. And if you're not familiar with cornhole, or you're an international listener and you're thinking, what is that? Bago is what a lot of people call it too.
Some people call it bago, some people call it cornhole. It's basically a beanbag game.
Yes.
You set up two like wooden boxes that have a hole cut up in the top, and then it looks like that. You put them like 15, 20 feet apart, throw a beanbag, you get points. It's a fun game.
It is a very fun game, and these guys do an amazing job at customizing the wood of the bago or the cornhole game.
Well, and I mean, like, look, it's so perfectly laid on there. You can do anything that you want, whether it's like your family's name or, you know, your monogram, or if you want your favorite sports team on there, they can really do it all.
Absolutely. And they'll pay for shipping no matter where you are in the United States or the world. They said they will ship wherever, whoever wins. So don't think that, hey, I'm an international listener.
I'm listening in Australia, I can't win.
Right, exactly, because that's wrong. You absolutely can. The way you sign up to win this amazing little game from our friends at Chip-a-Wade is by going to our website, steveandbethany.com, steveandbethany.com. It's also a link for you in the show notes as well, so be sure and register, because we're going to give this puppy away pretty soon.
I'm excited about it. I think it'll be fun. And later on this month, we are going to be doing something really cool. Hey,
I know. I got a text. I'm trying to turn it off.
Why don't you have your phone on vibrate?
I don't know.
Amateur. It's like it's your first time on the job. Come on now. As I was saying, later on this month, we're going to be doing something special for our patrons that are with us on Patreon. We're going to be taking a road trip. We're going to be driving all around, and I don't know. I think I'm going to be in charge of road trip snacks. You can maybe control the playlist.
In fact, we have got information for that coming up on the Aftercast that we'll get to here in just a second. But I think we've had a good episode today.
I think so too. It's been fun.
It has been fun. All right, so we'll close this one down. Good night, Olive Branch. All right, welcome to the Aftercast.
Dun, dun.
Yeah, I know, because because of the Michael Tait interview, I had to change.
Hold on. I'll get it. One more. Turn it up. There we go.
Very nice, very nice.
How many people does it take to figure out a soundboard?
It's all about timing.
All about it.
Yeah, so
we'll figure it out. Maybe next week's Aftercast will look better.
Yeah, let's hope so. So, at least timing-wise will be better. So, yeah, you guys on Patreon said that by far, I mean, the overwhelming votes was that you wanted us to take a road trip. And I think this is going to be fun because I just know how you are.
What do you mean?
I just know how you are as a driver. And
I'm a good driver.
No, it's not. You're not necessarily a bad driver. You're an angry driver.
Okay.
And so
there is some truth to that,
Yeah.
but I do think I've mellowed out a lot since getting married.
Well, I hope not.
Cody's been good for me.
Well, I hope not. That was the entertaining portion of this is when you're so angry.
Was when I'm
driving.
angry?
Yes.
Hey, the
That's
most
whole
commonly
point.
used GIF that Steve sends to me is from Groundhog Day when Bill Murray is in is it a pickup truck?
Yeah.
Right? He's in the pickup truck with
the groundhog.
With the groundhog, and it's angry, and it's got its little claws around the wheel, and it's like going like this. Steve sends that to me every time I talk about driving.
And the famous quote from the movie is, "Don't drive angry."
Don't drive angry. I don't know who that's more offensive to, Bill Murray or me.
Well,
who's that more offensive to?
I don't mean it to be offensive either. I'm just calling balls and strikes. I see them as the way I call them the way I see them. So we're gonna do that, and I think we might wind up playing some karaoke while we're doing it.
I'll do that. Yeah,
we'll tell some stories and we'll have some fun, and it'll be kind of a just a different kind of look, kind of get us out of the studio kind of thing. But we promise it will be here before the end of October.
Right.
That's what we're committing, right?
Well, because we had to kind of rearrange the schedule a little bit, but it will be ready the final week of October.
Final week of October.
I'm doing some radio work down in Texas. I'll be out of town for a couple weeks.
Which, by the
we're
way,
figuring it out.
I'm telling you, I want you to make some video. We need to take that for our Patreon people.
I can do that.
So just some behind the scenes of what you're doing, because you've never done this before.
No, and I'm a little nervous. Basically, I'll be working for a station down there for a couple weeks they call it a praise share, and it's kind of a fundraiser. They don't have commercials on their station, so they're totally listener supported, and so I'll be helping them ask the listeners for money.
And here's the thing is you and I have been on the other side of that.
Right, yeah.
Where we have raised money for other international missions when they came in, but we basically had like a 4-hour shift or a 5-hour shift.
Yeah.
You're all day, sister.
This is 12 hours.
You're going 6A to 6P on
Yes. And this is what was so funny on
not for like 1 day or 2 days.
I'll be down there.
How many days?
12 days.
12 days.
12 days is where it'll be fun. I'm going to be so sleep deprived. It won't even be funny. But on one of the planning calls that we did, they said, oh, so your shift is going to be 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. My word.
Well, I'm a popular person. Keep going.
Can't do it. Anyways, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And he said, oh, well, I mean, we'll give you a lunch break. And I said, that's so nice.
You get to clock out for 30 minutes and go to Subway and come back.
Thank you.
Actually, though, I know they watch this.
Yeah.
And so, well, I don't know that they're watching Patreon because
they don't watch this part.
But but I know some of the people down there.
They're great guys.
And their studios, and they do things first rate. So you should have a good time.
I think it'll be nice. If anything, they may cater in Chick-fil-A. Like it'll be top-notch catering.
Oh, yeah,
is what I'm
that'd be
expecting.
fun.
I'm expecting all the nuggets.
Okay. Well, so until next time we get together, we appreciate you always. We can't thank you enough for believing in us and believing in this project. We are just so thankful for the way that you participate with us and care about everything that we do.
Yeah, it really means a whole lot to us. And of course, tell your friends. I mean, share it on social media. Talk about the podcast. That helps us grow and helps us get bigger and better.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.